experiences. Will these technologies be relegated mostly to games, or do you foresee them making their way into film and television?
I see them even making its way into communication itself. Like I can see that the technology that will be able to translate a video conference from one language to the other is going to be possible. Like you would be able to speak in Chinese and the other side would be seeing you speaking English. But not only like just transferring the language and everything else, but also the gestures. Because it's not about just one-to-one transfer of things. Like every person has its own uniqueness in the sense that their anatomy, their life has affected their behavior. So if you map my hand motion to somebody else, like it just wouldn't feel right. So I think it's going to be like omnipresent. Like I don't know how to do everything myself, but like I know enough to be able to imagine how concretely we can do this step by step, and somebody else is surely going to do it.
And I'm right there with you. I think this stuff, this is Siggraf. This is the beginning of Siggraf, right? It's time to get excited about where we're going. And I'm really excited about digital humans. It is going to change we can see paths forward, right? Because we've got all the technology that you listed there. And you are going to start interacting with digital humans to pay bills. You're going to start, communicating using digital humans in brand new ways. And think about the changes in entertainment. We talk about previs a lot, right? Well, what if you had directable characters who looked like the actors? And you could hand them a script and they'd start acting. And then you think just a little bit farther, and this isn't, in this day and age, it isn't that crazy. What if you had a book and you read it and you said, wow, that's a great book. I wonder if they're gonna make it a movie. And you downloaded the book and it made a movie. It isn't that crazy, right? You're watching people paint. There's a thing at Real Time Live, and you've probably all seen this, where you paint a little child's painting and it turns it into an actual image or a work of art. That kind of stuff it's a decade away, where you just take a book, you take Lord of the Rings and you say, I didn't like Peter Jackson's take, let's see what the machine does, and all of a sudden, Lord of the Rings pops out.
And maybe, like, here's one exciting potential use case, and you probably have the unique opportunity to actually do it. So like, what if you kind of recorded your kind of attitude on digital humans, like this year, and then you had the opportunity to talk to yourself in 10 years and see how you feel about speaking to your past self.
Yeah.
So that's kind of things that I find extremely exciting about digital humans. So what I said about digital humans being boring is only to provocate, like, they're kind of boring today because we're not done yet. But
right.
Once we're done, they're going to be extremely important to us, because like all of this, like infinite number of possibilities that they offer.
And I will say this, the stuff that these guys are doing and that we're doing, well, here's one thing that I actually said out loud in a meeting. I should be spending a meeting in the motion capture suit, where it's just recording my day-to-day life. I should be just wearing that sucker for 48 hours, not because it's fun, but because I can train how I behave. I'm very animated when I talk, you can tell that. And we've learned how my face moves. It's not inconceivable now to learn how I just behave. And once you have that, especially give that to an actor. An actor could train.
I think it's an actor's biggest fear.
Oh, no, but it's also really, really cool, because actors know how to do that. How Josh Brolin lives real life is not how he lives as Thanos. But he could spend a couple of days acting as Thanos, and all of a sudden you have...
Yeah, one application that I've thought about in the past, and this might be for the parks or potentially even for home use, since our characters are so, not Thanos, but all of the heroes are so aspirational for the children, and they have a big impact on them, what if a kid could spend time...
Thanos is aspirational for humans?
No, the heroes, not the villains.
Oh, okay.
Not the villains, the heroes, like Captain America, or Tony Stark, or Quill, or any of them. What if a kid could spend some time with their hero, and the hero was actually being driven by AI? And I think that listen, at the parks there's a real application for that. Maybe you can go somewhere and you can be with your character for whoever you want to be with, but maybe you could do it on a video chat, who knows? as long as hopefully the characters are saying the things you want them to be saying.
Yes, Microsoft had a very telling experience with this. Listen to Microsoft. Be careful about letting chatbots in the wild. Yeah. Anyway, that'll come. That'll come.
Dot, dot, dot.
Yeah.
I guess everyone's going to be Googling that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here's another question. It seems clear that AI has the potential to optimize workflows and generally reduce the time required to do repetitive tasks. How will this affect employment over the long term?
Yeah, I kind of touched on this as well. Like, first I'd react this, but then, I think we can easily sort of react this. Like, we'll just tell them you're going to stop doing the boring stuff and get up to the interesting stuff. But we've spoken to some companies which we helped produce digital people for like agents for managing your bills or transactions or information. And then the question was, well, somebody might actually get fired because of this because they will be no longer needed. So we kind of anticipated that the society will react to this, and that project was actually stopped because they expected that the government would react and that they would add more taxes to digital employees as a result, kind of to support this kind of social change. So I think this is not only in this area, but in like every industry. Like once we get the autonomous vehicles, robots, and digital employees, the society is going to have to fundamentally change.
There will be a transition.
Yeah.
There'll be a transition to get used to it, but I think in the long term, a lot of people are studying the fact that, and I do think, well, we recently released something called Galvin, which was like this, you can paint these color blocks and it will come out with a paint. And it was kind of good to see the reaction of how people felt about that. Like, you see a lot more people who might not be trained do pretty cool, interesting stuff. And you see professional artists do even better stuff with really little time. So I think more people will focus on the creative and being more free, actually. But it will take some time.
And just as, look amongst yourselves. All of you guys put model makers out of business. We have done this before, right? Back in the 90s when I first joined, Digital Main had this monstrous machine shop that built models for Titanic and stuff like that. And we have decimated that field. And life has changed. Sorry.
It may be about changing of the jobs. As someone in management, it feels like we've automated so much of our pipeline and we still need the same amount of people.
I know,
it's just
right?
that people are doing different things now.
Yeah, everybody's
Yeah.
adapted. It works.
Yeah. I kept saying like, oh, this is going to create, that we're going to get so much bang for our buck. Nope, we still need the same amount of people. We just work faster now.
Yeah. I think new industry will pop up.
Yeah. Let's take some audience questions.
Yeah.
It looks like we have a minute left.